Hey everyone, welcome back, and chances are if you're watching this, you're trying to get yourself into some Savage raiding. Well, luckily for you, Final Fantasy follows a pretty steady and linear progression system when it comes to gearing and power increases. Unlike other MMOs that have legendaries or artifacts with talent trees. I think we both know who I'm talking about here. Now, to kick things off, you're going to need to get your hands on a set of crafted gear. You can do this one of a few different ways. The first being the easiest, which is just take a stroll on down to your local market board and purchasing it. The second being a heavier time investment, which is leveling up your own crafters and making your own gear. And the third being just buying raw materials and finding somebody who could craft it for you. Be sure to include a nice tip though, because they're going to need that gil to pay for therapy if they really enjoy crafting that much. No matter which of these three options you choose to do, it's important to make sure that you either buy or get crafted high quality gear. Now, while there's only a minor difference in stats from normal to high quality, it's always important to make sure that your character is as best as it possibly can be before you start Savage. Now that you have either a partial or full set of crafted gear, it's time to start tackling those normal raids. You can do this for a couple of different reasons. Now, while the item level from the raids is the exact same as high quality crafted gear, they usually have different secondary stats. This allows you to better optimize your character to pump out more damage. The second reason being, the last boss typically drops an item that you can combine with tomestones over a certain number of weeks of farming it to allow you to gain your first major power increase. This, of course, being a weapon that will probably be about 10 item levels higher than your crafted gear. Speaking of tomestones, in addition to being used to craft your first weapon upgrade, they can also be used to buy gear off of a vendor. This gear is 10 item levels higher than anything you'll be finding through either normal raids or your crafted gear. And these tomestones can be obtained a number of ways, whether that be raiding, dungeons, or PvP, or a couple other various activities. They are set on a 450 weekly cap, however, and utilize a similar system to when WoW had badges of justice or badges of heroism. If all this combination of gear isn't really enough and you're still struggling to down that Savage content, then the next patch will help you boost that gear level further. A new trial will be released, and of course this means new weapons. If you've held onto your gear for this long, then you're in luck, because a new vendor will be added that allows you to trade in your old crafted gear for a currency. This can be used to purchase gear for any job in the game, meaning if you don't need newer upgraded gear for your current class, it can be purchased for an alt instead. And lastly, the new Alliance raid that comes out will drop a coin currency. This coin can be mixed with your tombstone gear, allowing you to upgrade it to Savage gear levels. Just to give you an example on how all of these different topics play out within an expansion, currently, we are in the last raid tier of Shadowbringers. This means that our crafted gear and normal gear was 510 item level. The next step from there, in order to gain a slight power increase, was to obtain tombstone gear and upgrade that crafted gear off of a vendor, which got you to 520. Lastly, you were able to take a coin from the Alliance raids and upgrade that tombstone gear even further to 530, which is the Savage raid level gear. So all in all, you end up with a smooth transition from 510, where you have enough gear to clear Savage, but if you still need that extra bit of help, slowly upgrading to 520, and then a middle point between 520 and 530. I think that the progression system that Final Fantasy has implemented definitely feels smooth, and I really like that slowly over time, you're given multiple opportunities to gain catch-up gear and slight power increases rather than a burst of power like trinkets in World of Warcraft, or alternatively, like we mentioned earlier, the legendary system or artifacts. And it just feels more natural as a way of killing bosses rather than needing huge power burst gains in order to down content. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and if you like the content and want to support the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button, or head over to my Twitch and give me a follow on there. And be sure to stay tuned, because next week we're going to be talking about crafting.